I'm here to tell you that sometimes I drink out of the volcano. I know how to deal with the system. I just gotta ask you, Ronnie, are you willing to accept what I have to teach?
I'm ready.
Do you want me to show you the way?
Show me the path.
Can I lead you, please?
Lead me.
I'm gonna put you in my pocket.
Guide me.
You're in my hands.
When do we start?
What's going on YouTube? In today's video, I'll be working on the Tahoe, swapping out my steering wheel right here. So this will be a complete guide of how to swap out the steering wheel right here, and also relocating the tow haul switch, because as you can see, I did also go ahead and change out my shift lever into this chrome one. So this is my relocated tow haul button, and you can see it right there on the dash, and then you press it again and it goes off. And as well as having no airbag light on the dashboard. So as you can see, it's just flashing and then it goes away, because I did go ahead and wire it up so that way the light will not be on the dash. So there's no more airbag light on the dashboard right there. And down here, I did go ahead and customize the shift boot right here for the Tahoe, because they're always ripping in this area. They're all rubber. So if you'd like to purchase one of these from me, you can contact me on my Instagram, which is Migo713, and I'll link it right here. So if you want to check this out, make sure you stay tuned and let's get to it. All right, so that's the last look of the factory steering wheel, and I'll go ahead and start disconnecting the battery first. So I'll go ahead and start off by disconnecting the ground off my battery with this 8mm wrench right here, or a 5/16 will also work. So that's disconnected, but I'll go ahead and make sure that these are out the way, because I don't want them to like accidentally touch on here and get power back. But if you also want to be safer, you can also disconnect the 12-volt side right here. So all right guys, so next up what I want to do is remove the airbag right here, and what I'll be using is a flathead, and there's going to be like two different slots. So one on here on the left side and then one on the right side. So right behind here, you'll see it's got like a little flat area right in here. And these on the side right here are 9902. If it's a 03 to 06, then it's going to be different, on the side right here. But mine's is a 99 to 02, so it'll be back here. And I'll go ahead and show you. So I'll go ahead and move the steering wheel up. That way I can get this lined up in this area so I can fit the screwdriver. So just like that, with the Chevy sign like this, there's going to be one up here. And then I'll do this one first, and then I'll flip it around to do the bottom one so I can get it up on the top. And this is where you're going to put the screwdriver right here. So I'll go ahead and put the flat screwdriver right here on the left side. So I got a different flathead because the other one was a little bit too long. So I'll go ahead and show you right now with this one. So you'll put it right here in the flat area, all the way in, and then you'll go ahead and lift it up, and you'll see the airbag pop out. So there you can see it already moved out. So this one is already loose, but I'll push it back in so you can see again. You can see it already locked up in again. And then so just insert it right here on the very left side, and then you lift this up and you'll see it pop out again. So right there, and there you go. It just moves a little bit, but it's already loose, so there it goes again. And now I'll move the steering wheel back down the other way, so this way, so I can get it from the bottom now. So just in there. All right. So there it popped out. And there goes the airbag. So now I'll go ahead and just disconnect it right here. So this little cover just pops up, and then you can pull up the whole connector. And there it goes. All right guys, so that's the airbag right there. So I'll go ahead and throw this away because I don't need it anymore. And what I'll be doing is cutting this wire off right here, because we won't need this connector. I'm gonna be putting in the resistor so that way the code won't be on the dash with the airbag light. So all you want to do is cut it off. So anywhere around here is fine. So there it is. So that's gone right there, and I have two wires in here now. So this is the other end of the plug, and there's a green wire and a white wire, but it doesn't really matter. They just need a resistor in there. It's got to be a 2 ohm resistor, but I'll show you how I'm gonna do it right now as well. And this is just how it looks right now. So you got this wire right here, and I'll be taking it out of here, because I'm gonna be reusing this for the airbag. And then these two red wires are the horn, so both of these have to be grounded, but I'll show you right now as well how I do it. So I'm gonna just cut these both off. So these two red wires are for the horn, and I'm gonna be taking it off so I can replace the steering wheel. But this one right here, you can push it in there. So what you want to do is push it and then twist it, and it'll come off just like that, because it's got the little spring right here. So this is going to be moved over with different wiring to the steering wheel. So I'll show you how to hook this horn back up once we put the other steering wheel. So next up, I'll be removing the 21mm nut in the middle that's holding on the steering wheel. And first, I did go ahead and straighten out my steering wheel, so that way it's all centered up when I put the new wheel on here. So I have an impact, so I'll do it with my 21mm right here. So just like that with the 21. And there it is, so it's already loose right there. And I don't want to take the nut completely off because I'm gonna have to use the puller right here. But that's the nut right there, it's a 21mm. And this is what it looks like so far. But as you can see, there's a threaded area right here and here. So that's for the puller. And then I'm gonna keep the nut on here also, so that way, you know, it uses the leverage to pop out the steering wheel, but I'll show you how I do it. So I'll put this back right here and I'll get the puller out. So this is the kit right here that I'll be using to remove my steering wheel. And also I did go ahead and rent it out from AutoZone, but you can, you know, get it from different places like O'Reilly's, AutoZone, or you can purchase it on Amazon or something like that. But I'll link it down below if you wanna, you know, check that out right there. So the nut is still here, it's just like loose right there. That way the whole thing doesn't fall off. So there's one section here and then the other one is right there. So I'll just kind of thread them in here. All right, so I went ahead and set it up because, you know, it's easier with two hands. So this one gets spin, you know, clockwise or tightening it. And that way, you know, it'll make this one pop right out. And, you know, these are just right here on snug. That way it's not gonna move around. So I'll go ahead and just start, you know, tightening it right here. There, I think it loosened it up because it felt a little bit different right there. And so now it's loose, but it won't fall off because I still have this nut. So I just got to take it off, and then I can start, you know, doing the adapter on the steering wheel right here. So that's what it looks like so far. So now I'll just get my hub adapter and start putting it back together. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove my steering wheel from the Yukon and swap it over to the Tahoe. So there it is, that's my wood grain wheel, and I'll be, you know, swapping over the steering wheel and also my hub adapter, and most likely my shifter as well. So this is my wood grain steering wheel, and it's a Grant, but I'll go ahead and take it apart, and then, you know, I'll go ahead and show you all these parts that I'm using here. So if you have a, you know, 2000 to 02 Tahoe or a 03 to 06, they're gonna be different parts, but I'll go ahead and show you right now. So let me just take this apart. And also on my shifter, I'll probably move it over or give me a different one, but this one I ordered a long time ago, so I don't have a link for it. But if I do get the new one, I'll go ahead and link it down below in the description so you can check it out right there. And also, if I have to, I'll do a separate video on the installation, or I might add it on this one. All right, guys, so here's some of the parts that I'm gonna be using on my truck and that I got off the Yukon. So I have my Grant wood steering wheel right here, and the horn is, you know, detachable right here. So there's two connections for the horn, and I'll show you how to connect the horn as well. But that's my steering wheel right there. And here you can see on the factory one, the horn adapter is kind of big, and on the Yukon I had to actually like cut it down. So if you guys notice, this one is shorter, but it still has the clips. So you're gonna have to trim it down, that way your horn will still work. And I'll show you how to wire it up as well, because it has to be, you know, joined right here to the hub adapter. So the hub adapter will have one of the grounds, and then the other one will go to this. And you want to join these after, because that way it'll go through here, because if not, then it won't fit. Also, I did go ahead and take off my resistor right here. So it's a variable resistor, and this one is for the airbag. That way, you know, we don't get no airbag light on the dashboard. And I'll also show you how to, you know, hook this up right here. But it's pretty much a 2 ohm resistor, and this is what it looks like right here. So it used to be a little bit longer on the wiring, but, you know, I already got cut down since it was in the Yukon. And for the horn, you're gonna have to cut off the red wire from here and here. And that way, you know, all this comes off, because that way you're gonna reuse it, except that you're gonna be trimming off this plastic, you know, right around this area. So it'll pretty much just be like that. That way it'll fit in the hub adapter and your horn will still work. So this is my hub adapter for the 99 to 02, and I'll link the one for the 03 to 06 as well down in the description if you wanna check all these parts out right there. And then here I have my 1/2 inch spacer. That way I can put my 5-bolt steering wheel into the 6-bolt hub adapter, because this is for like an NRG steering wheel. So this hub adapter is for a 6-bolt steering wheel, like an NRG, and, you know, the Grant is a 5-bolt. So that's why I have to buy this adapter, and that way, you know, I can put a 5-bolt steering wheel into the 6-bolt section right there. So, you know, I just have to get the adapter with the little screws, and then I have to buy aftermarket screws here. So on the adapter right here, it's just a 1/2 inch, and whenever, you know, I do my turn signals, it does get close a little bit to the steering wheel. So later on, I will be doing like a quick release, and, you know, that'll solve that issue. That way it gets a little bit more clearance. But I'll be using the same parts today on my truck. And also on the shifter right here, it is a universal shifter that I got a long time ago. So I had to like modify it, and, you know, that's why it looks like this. I put a bolt through it, and I had to like shave this part down. But if I can get another one, I'll make a quick video. That way, you know, you can get a better look at how I did it. So I did go ahead and have to modify it, but if I find me another one, I'll go ahead and try to, you know, add it on this video or add it in the description. If I have to, then I'll make a different video on it. But that's my shifter right here. Alright guys, since I'm working all on the steering column, I'm also going to be removing this because I'm going to have to shape it down. That way it'll fit better in here. Because if you can see, like this thing is a little bit thick right here. So this plastic has to be like trimmed very thin. That way the hub adapter is not going to be scraping every time you turn. And I'll try to see if I can catch some of that. So pretty much you just got to sand it down to make it like a very thin bezel. Some people cut it all off, but I think it looks kind of nasty. So I'm going to just try to make it real thin. And I'm going to have to remove these plastics. So these covers usually have some bolts down here, like some T15 or T20. I can't remember, but this one looks like it has none right now. So I'm going to just go ahead and pry it open. And all I got to do is, you know, pull this lever off. And then these will like kind of pry off. And also I'm going to unbolt my steering column, so my shifter. And then if you guys notice, this boot right here is also ripped. So I'm going to be doing something with this as well. And I'm going to see if I can put it in this video for you guys as well.
The future has finally arrived.
These Chevy boots are always ripping. And, you know, I think I have something that'll fix this right here. So let me go ahead and start taking it apart. So right here, there should be like a bolt. And then also all the way in here. But as you can see, it's not there. So I'm going to just take this off. So you just want to pull it real hard with both hands. So, you know, I had the camera, so I couldn't really do it. But pretty much just pops out right there. It's just plastic. And then just keep this in hand in case you need to move it around. But to remove this, you do have to take this piece off first. And this one just pops up as well. So just be careful if they have screws. Like on this one, you know, this is a spot right here. I think on my Yukon it has a bolt, but not all of them do. You can see where it lines up, and then there's an aluminum. You can add a bolt if you want to, if you don't have one, but you know, this one doesn't have it either. So I'll go ahead and put my plastic back on, that way I can be, you know, adjusting it. So since I'm trying to upgrade this, I'm gonna be losing the tow haul switch from here, but I'm gonna relocate it later. And the wire is right here. There's this orange wire that goes to this. So I'm gonna just cut it off for now, and then later I'm gonna hardwire it into a switch. So I'll just cut it right here. So you can see it's coming off the shifter, and there's 2 wires inside. So I'll keep this for later, and I'll probably just put some tape on it. There's actually like a plug and play connector down there if you want to unplug it. So I could unplug it, but I'm gonna just leave it plugged in there, and I'm gonna just put some tape right here meanwhile, and then later when I get the switch, then I can reconnect it again. But that's the tow haul switch, and it's just right up in here. So for the shifter, you can see there's a star bit right here, and it's gonna be a T30. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove it with this. And sometimes they're very tough, so just be careful and make sure you don't strip it, because you don't want to be like messing around with this bolt. So it's just a T30, and you know, make sure that the bit is real good and you can get some leverage up in there. And it's just a T30 right here. So you can see it's got that blue Loctite. That's why they're a little bit tight sometimes. And then I can just wiggle this one out. All right, and that one's trash because I don't want it no more. So it looks pretty old, so I think it's trash. All right, so first I'm gonna go ahead and insert my horn wire right here. So just like this, and I can like lock it in place in here. So they're locked in place. You can see, you know, it's not coming out. So that's the horn wire, and it's got these 2 little red wires. And then I got my airbag, and now I can like insert them into the hub adapter and bolt it down. And so the hub adapter looks like this, and then the square area is for the airbag, you know, because it's got this little plastic poking out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the wire in here. So just like that, and then I can put in my horn wire on the other hole, which is this top little black hole. So let me go ahead and do that. So just like that, and then you can see them coming out on this side. And that should get it lined up pretty good right there. All right, so it's sitting in properly, and you can see, you know, it's just staying in there locked up in. And I just went ahead and lightly put on the nut right now, so I can start torquing it by hand, because I don't want to like mess up the splines. All right, so that's going pretty good right there, and that's looking good. So right now it's all good, and I can go ahead and hook up my battery. That way I can, you know, make sure that the horn works, and also that I get the resistor right here working for the airbag light. So let me hook that up. All right, so that's good to go. Both of them are hooked up. So now that my battery's hooked up, I can make sure and hook up my horn back up. And we have these 2 red wires that we had cut off the steering wheel. and you know, it's already connected in the back. And if you want to test it out before you like close it all up, you can, you know, grab the ground right here that's off the steering column already, and then just, you know, tap it and make sure the horn honks. So there you can see it works. And now I can go ahead and, you know, solder this and know that the horn is going to work again. So all it's doing is just completing the circuit whenever you press on it. So I'll just solder this piece in here and then heat shrink it. So now it's soldered, and I just got to make sure to close it because you don't want this touching around here. That way your horn is not going to be going off. So I got my heat shrink here, and I can just, you know, close it up. So that's what it looks like now, and I just tested taped them right here so that I can, you know, keep them together right there. All right, so next up, I'll be hooking up my resistor right here on the airbag wire, so that way I don't have no airbag light on my dashboard, because, you know, it doesn't look that good, and, you know, it could be done easily right here with a resistor. So I have mines right here, and it's a variable resistor, so I already went ahead and, you know, spliced the wires right there. So this is my variable resistor, and as you can see on the top, it's got a little flathead section, so you can adjust it with a little, you know, flathead screwdriver. So essentially all we have to do is hook up both of these wires, and it doesn't matter on the order, and I'll show you right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and solder these together. And if you don't have this variable resistor, you can also use a regular resistor. So just like this, just a standard resistor, and then, you know, you want to put one of the legs on one side and then the other leg on the other side. So a resistor like this would be connected, you know, one leg on one of the sides and then the other leg on the other wire, and it doesn't matter again on the color right there. And the reason I like this one more is because it's more adjustable, and that way in case it's not a 2-ohm resistor, you know, I can still move it around. So I finished up soldering the wiring, and you can see right here the heat shrink, and, you know, just wire to wire right there. And then my resistor adjuster is up here, and I'll go ahead and show you right now how to adjust it. It's pretty simple with a small flathead screwdriver. So I'll go ahead and put the key in forward, and you can see the airbag is blinking right now, but since this one was in the Yukon, it already has the correct code, so the light is off now. And I'll just show you right now, like, let's say in case, you know, you have the wrong setting. So I'll move the adjuster right now to remove the correct code right here. So I went ahead and moved it too much, so now I don't even know what the resistance is, and you can see the airbag light is on the dash, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to find it right now. So I'm waiting to see the airbag flash on top. As you can see, it's still solid, so maybe that's too much, so I'll just go to the right. All right, there you can see it flashed. That means I need to go back a little bit more. All right, skipped it again. So it's somewhere in this area because it just flashed. I'm gonna push it back again. There it goes. All right, so it actually turned off. So that's the correct spot right there. And if I go too far back, then it's gonna come back on. So I'm turning back. So there it goes, so up a little bit. All right, that looks good. So that's the correct spot right there. So as long as your light turns off, then you're good. So you just gotta find it right here. And let me know what you guys think on this, but it's not too bad. You just gotta play with it and the light will turn off. So you won't have that anymore right there. And now I can go ahead and start putting my other adapter right here. And this adapter is just, you know, so that I can put my Grant steering wheel into the 6-bolt hub adapter. I only went ahead and put in 5 short bolts right here because the top one is actually a longer one, which goes through the whole steering wheel. And that's because, you know, this is the 5th spot right here. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5 on the 5-bolt steering wheel. So this one goes last, and I'll put it on top of my Grant steering wheel. Now all these 5 are all bolted, and this is gonna be my last one when I put the steering wheel. And you can just see right here, they go recessed inside these holes. That way they're flat and they're not gonna get in the way. So that's where the last one goes, right there in that empty spot. All right, so I'm gonna tuck in my airbag light wire right here. So the resistor, that way it can be, you know, in place. And it looks good right there. So I'll just pop out the horn. That way I can connect it last. And I can insert these wires right here. And, you know, start off with this top bolt. Just into there, and then now I can put it on the hub adapter here. All right, so I got it nice and tight now, and I can go ahead and do my horn. So it doesn't matter which one, they just get connected one on each side right here. All right, so now it's all flush right there, and it works. All right, now it looks better. So let me know what you think on this right here so far, and I'll go ahead and start working on the actual shroud, and then also modifying my shifter knob and all this stuff right here. So that's gonna be pretty cool right here. And so these are always breaking, and you know I like them a little bit different, so I'm gonna go ahead and modify it. So let me go ahead and start on the plastic, and then I'll show you guys on this part right here. So I'll go ahead and put on my shifter right now, and it just has a 10 millimeter with the nut right there. And if I get a chance to make the video on how to do this right here, I'll go ahead and link it on top of the screen. That way you guys can check it out. So just right there. And then I do my 10 on top right here. So there's my shifter, and you can see the 10 millimeter bolt. And the nut is right here in the bottom. So that's how I have it on right now. And you know, the original just came from the top with that T30 bolt. So I went ahead and put on the plastic right here around the steering wheel. That way I can see where I have to trim. So right here is pretty much touching. And then this little section right here. So this little plastic, I'm not sure if you see it, it's actually touching on the actual hub. And then also on this side right here. So this side is touching a lot, and I'll go ahead and just grind it from the inside and not from the outside. That way it can still look stock. And you can hear when I turn it. So, you know, if that bothers you right there, I would just trim it from the inside. Like, not from the outside, but from the bottom right here. So I'll go ahead and do that. And like I said, the biggest part is this one right here, that little plastic. And then on here. So these are my shrouds, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this bottom piece as well. So this little tab, and then this little inside tab. And I'll just do it with a razor blade real quick. And on this one, of course, I'm gonna cut the inside as well, this little tab, that tab, and then also shape it down. So here's a close-up right here at how I shaped it, and it looks pretty thin, but it still looks factory. But you guys let me know what you think down below. So just from the interior right here, it's all thin. And from the outside, you know, I didn't cut nothing. So it's all factory from the outside. You can't really tell that, you know, it got modified. So now that this is good, check this out, guys, right here. So I went ahead and customized my shift boot. So this is the original one right here. And as you can see, you know, it's all broken and stuff. So these are always breaking, so I decided to like customize it.
Yes, it is different than we all thought. But don't worry.
And so check it out right here. So I made a whole new one right there. I think it came out pretty good. And you guys let me know what you think down below in the comments. So let me go ahead and try it out right here, and I'll show you. So here's with the boot on, and so I think it came out pretty good. Let me know what you guys think right there. And also, if you like this and you like to purchase one from me, you can hit me up on my Instagram, and I'll link it right here. It's Migo713. So it looks pretty good to me, but you guys let me know down below in the comments. I bought different ones, but they always end up ripping, so that's why I didn't want to do that this time. And now I think this will look good on my shifter, and it'll probably outlast it as well because it's a, you know, stronger material right there. So now I can just go into the truck and start installing this. And then I also will be messing with the tow haul switch. That way I can fix this wire that I cut right now and relocate the tow haul button right here. So now it's all good, and you can see that it doesn't, you know, make that sound anymore. So the bezel still looks stock, it's just very thin now. So you guys let me know what you think on this down below in the comments. All right, guys, so before I put my custom shift boot on it, I will be wiring up a switch right here onto the tow haul switch. As you can see, I already opened up the wires, and that way, you know, I can do this first and then cover it all up. So on the switches right here, I'll also have them linked down below, and these are going to be momentary switches. So you can see that they're a little bit different on this one. This one's a little bit smaller, and then this one's a little bit bigger. I actually like this one better because, you know, it fits better on my dash. So these have to be momentary switches, and you know, some of these will come with the harness right here with different colors. As you can see, this one's got like a yellow wire, you know, red, blue. So today I'll be using this one, but most of them will come with this harness with this coloring on the yellow wire, you know, blue, green, red. All you gotta do is use 4 of the wires, so there's 5 in here, and that's why I had cut this one here. And then on this one I cut the yellow wire. So most of them will be like this harness with the yellow and these other wires right here. So you don't want to use this yellow wire, you're going to cut it off, and that's the normally closed wire. Also, if you look at it from back here, it tells you NC. So if you guys notice right there that NC, you don't want to use that wire right there. That's the one that's going to be cut off. So besides that NC wire, which you don't need, you will be using, you know, the red for power, and then black is going to be ground. And then these 2 last wires, which is green and blue, will go to the tow haul switch. So onto these white wires. So the colors won't matter as long as, you know, it creates a circuit, and I'll show you right now how I'm gonna hook it up. And on my power wires, I will be getting them from behind the radio, so a ground and most likely like an illumination or dimmer wire. That way, whenever it's nighttime, the LED switch will light up, but you can hook it up to other things like accessories or ignitions, whatever you want right there. On the Tahoe, I'll be using this one right here, and it's got a green wire, which is the NC, and I'm gonna, you know, pull it off right now. So you can see whenever I remove the clip right here, on the very left pin, it says NC. So that wire needs to be disconnected right there, and I'll go ahead and depin it right now. And so now I'm just left over with the 2 LED wires with the black and red for positive, negative. So for my switch, this white and green will get connected on the 2 white wires here, 1 on each. And I'll probably do an extension, that way I can move the switch wherever I want it. And I'll also do an extension for my power wires. So let me go ahead and solder them and I'll show you right now. Alright guys, so I got the switch right here. It's already hooked up. And so the 2 wires are extended to this side. And they're just connected right there. And so I added some Tessa tape here, and I'll add more right now. I just wanted to show you real quick. And for the power on the LED, I tapped into my radio harness. And this black wire right here is gonna be my ground. And that's the pin location right there. So this black one. And for the power side, I grabbed the brown wire on the left side of that black wire. So you can see the red wire right there. So this brown wire is my illumination wire, and this is on the 99 to 02. That way, whenever I turn on my headlights or parking lights, the LED will light up. And if I do the dimmer, they won't dim. But if you want it to dim, so this left wire right here, this gray one, is gonna be the actual dimmer wire if you want it to dim. But since I don't really want it to dim, I just grab the brown one right there. So that's my 2 connections right here. And I'll go ahead and try it out. So if I turn on my parking lights, you can see right there that the LED comes on. And if I mess with the dimmer, you know, it doesn't affect it at all. But if you do want it to dim, then of course you would grab that other wire, and that's on the 9902. And for the 03 to 06 model, it's gonna be different colors. So I'll see if I can find the schematic and I'll let you guys know. My switch is all wired up and I just got it mounted on my dash. And there you can see also my relays on my power folding mirrors. If you haven't watched that video, I'll go ahead and link it on top of the screen right here. So they're hooked up to my, you know, alarm. So whenever I lock it, so I got the switch right here, and if you press it, you can see the tow haul is on, and then one more time it's off. So that means it's working. So I went ahead and put my dash back, and as you can see, I already mounted my switch right here for my tow haul. So whenever I press on it, the tow haul light will be on, and then press it one more time, it'll be off. And then at night, whenever my headlights come on, the LED will light up by itself. And I didn't hook up the dimmer, so you know, it's just gonna stay red even if I dim the lights down. And the shift boot right here, I think it helped out a lot, you know, because it was all broken and stuff. So I think it made a big difference. So I like the way it came out. And overall, you know, you guys let me know what you think on the steering wheel swap with all the, you know, custom setup right here. So that's another cool upgrade on the Tahoe right there. And also, if this video helped you out, don't forget to hit that like button down below. And let's see what else I can do on this Tahoe right here.